we're talking about different ways to publish. You can e-publish. You can e-publish at virtually no cost. It's basically uploading. There's some formatting that you have to do, but basically you just upload it to some place like Smashword. Amazon has Create Space. You can upload it there. And the cool thing about Amazon is that as soon as you do that, then it's in a sense, it's in their catalog. You can order it from Amazon. The difficulty with just e-publishing is it's ethereal, and it's hard to promote. I couldn't come to you and say, look at this thing. I could tell you about it, but I couldn't show you a physical object. And actually what I did was I hired a literary PR firm, and what I'm telling you is kind of what he told me, is that it's hard to sell the idea of just an ebook, and so that's kind of why we went this way. Let's say that you decided to go this way. You're going to use Lulu or somebody. What does it cost? Well, the expected and disappointing answer is it depends. But something that you can control in a lot of these situations, and again, if you want to pursue this, look at the various sites and look at what they offer. There are packages and or menus of services. So you can have somebody design your cover, or you can do it yourself. This was kind of fun. This was my first attempt at my book, and I have a friend who's an artist, and he read the book and came up with this. We worked together on it, and I just loved it. I thought it was, I guess because it's mine, I thought it was really terrific. The problem is, I showed it to my daughters. I showed it to, if you know the author Elizabeth George, she's a friend of mine. And I showed it to my PR guy. Pretty unanimously, they said, it really doesn't convey the feeling of the book. And it's really not very commercial. Elizabeth's comment was, no man is going to buy a book with a teddy bear on the cover. And I agreed. As much as I like this and as hard as my friend worked on it, I thought we needed to do something different. My idea here was my protagonist lives in a little trailer, and the little trailer is in the middle of a garden. Problem is, something like this, people try to tell the story with the cover. The story tells the story. The cover just makes you pick up the book. We came up with this, which is, and we call this the Lonely Road, the Lonely Road cover. So additionally, he's a truck driver, and this would be something typically that he would look at, but we wanted to convey the sense of isolation or being alone. Can you do the formatting yourself? How much promotion and publicity can you do? Something that you probably can't do that these companies, again, I'll just, Lulu or Archway or somebody, something that they can help you with are critiques and reviews. Another thing that I really hadn't thought of, but that these companies can help you with, are contests. Book fairs is another thing. I'm going to be speaking in, I think, Bellingham in the fall, and so there's some kind of a book fair up there. Actually, I mean, I do have the mic, so I'm going to tell you. This was featured at the a USC Festival of Books last weekend, which I was tickled because I used to live in Southern California, and I've been to the Festival of Books, and I remember walking around just being in awe of the authors and thinking, boy, wouldn't it be cool to be there someday? I mentioned that one of the things that I was looking for in my path here was distribution. And again, there's just a whole range of things that you could do, but I wanted to be as close to traditional publishing as I could. Again, I just feel so lucky to have wound up with Publishers Group West. They're the second largest publisher or distribution company in the United States. They have a sales force. Some distribution people don't have salesmen out there. They maybe send a catalog, but these are folks knocking on doors and saying, here's a new book, I think you'd like it. If you self-publish, you're going to have a tough time getting this into bookstores. The book business is different than any other business that I know of, in that the product, even though they order the product is shipped to them, they send a check off, they've bought this thing, really it's very much like consignment. Because in the book business, the bookstore is allowed to send back anything that didn't sell at any time they want. And from the bookstore's perspective, they want to know that they're going to get their money. If they send the book back, they want to know that they're going to get a check. If they bought the book from Steve Long may not have any money, and so not send them a check. So having a distributor is a big help in disseminating your product, your book, getting it out there, because it's the traditional chain of commerce that they're used to. The downside of having more people involved, everybody wants some of the money, and the distributor does too. So interestingly, on a $29 hardcover book, typically a debut novelist will get about $2 on a $29 book. The breakdown is the bookstore gets about half the cover price. Most of the rest of it is used up between the distributor and the publisher. So it doesn't leave a lot. And that's another reason that established authors are turning to self-publishing, is to just retain more of the earnings. On an ebook, if you sell an ebook for $4.99, to pick a number, how much does the author keep of that? $2.99. So you can make more money selling an ebook for, what, a fifth the cost? And the author will retain more of those earnings. So again, just everything in the publishing world, I just think is, let's not say chaotic, let's say in transition. The digital age has changed commerce, and authors are right along with that. What does it cost to publish? We talked about that. We don't know, because it depends on the kind of book. Let me narrow that down a little bit. If you go to one of the places that I've mentioned, and I think they're all pretty much the same cost-wise, a package will start at a couple of $1,000s. You don't get much for a couple of $1,000s. So at Archway, I think they have 4 categories, and they go from $2,000 to $15,000. If you go to some place like Greenleaf Books, they start at $15,000, and $50,000 is easy to spend. Most of you do not know me. Those that do, there's a girl that we're of one heart. I am so cheap. I will do everything I can myself just to save some money, and I did. You know, it's I did this through Kickstarter, through the funding, which I will tell you about. But even then, I tried to think, what can I do myself? And again, because of hooking up with Rare Bird, who was amenable to allowing me to work with him, and I really put off on him the things that I'm not good at and that I couldn't do. One of the places I haven't mentioned yet is Powell's. So Powell's has a machine they call their espresso printing machine. I made a couple of phone calls back and forth to them. We did a little emailing back and forth to them. I emailed them the files on a Sunday night. Tuesday afternoon, I had books in my mailbox. So it's just amazing. The reason that I did this is called an ARC, A-R-C, Advanced Reader Copy. And I have author friends that I was trying to get blurbs from. So I printed up some books and sent those out. So a male confessional is when a guy acts like a guy. And he has trouble with relationships, and he's at loose ends and he can't get it together, and he's a kind of a bonehead. So the comment that I've gotten from female friends is, you should have made him suffer more. Now, contrast that with men who have read it, and they said, this is so cool. I really like this book.